So basically, what I was telling you is let's start discussing Internet of Things, privacy, security, and governance, right? And then I will tell you what kind of attacks possible, what are the different tools that you should explore, right? And when you are deploying some IoT project, what care you have to take, right? So the first thing is let's try to understand the IoT is a concept being increasingly supported by various stakeholders and market forces that you already know. The idea is to connect various devices or objects through wireless and wired connections. This is very important. We have both kind of connectivity, wireless as well as the wired, right? And unique addressing scheme and create a pervasive environment where a person can interact at any time with the digital world and physical world, right? So for example, you can access the temperature sensor, you can access your air conditioner, you can access your refrigerator and via mobile application, or you can push those data on the cloud also, right? So there are many automated process and automated internet process which we take for granted every day. So why should the IoT require a special attention when it comes to privacy, security and governance, right? We are not much concerned about the security in day to day life. So when it comes to the IoT, what is the big challenge? So increase in connected devices gives hackers and cyber criminals more entry points. So probably you might have heard, I will show you some example, right? Where actually the hacking has happened, and it has destroyed the systems like anything, right? So maybe the problem with operating system of your smart TV could be a reason to have a hacking of your home automation system, right? So that's what we are trying to say here. Now governance, security and privacy are probably the most challenging issues in the Internet of Things. So let's look at what is governance. Basically it refers to the rules, process and behavior that affect the way in which powers are exercised, particularly as regards openness, partition, accountability, effectiveness and coherence. These are the 5 principles of good governance, right? So this is a very theoretical things, but important thing is there are already an organization like Internet Engine Task Force, ICNN, right, IEEE, various organizations, and they are helping us to manage everything, right? So similarly, this organization probably take care of the internet standards, different protocols, right? And the difficulty is that the high number and heterogeneity of technologies and devices in IoT require even more specific governance solutions and approaches that are more complex, right? Because there are many vendors who are giving the devices, there are many firmware that get upgraded in each device, right? Size and heterogeneity in fact are the 2 main components that affect the governance of IoT. So in IoT context, it is difficult to separate the concept of governance, security and privacy, because addressing privacy and security aspect to achieve trust in IoT would probably need governance mechanism as well. So these 3 are the inseparable entities that you can say. Let us look at an example. This is really exciting. A group of hackers took down a power grid in region of western Ukraine. I will give you an example of India also, where we have a doubt, right? In December 2013, researchers of Proofpoint, an enterprise security firm, discovered the first IoT botnet in 2013, right? According to the Proofpoint, more than 25% of the botnet was made up of devices other than computers. This is very important, other than computers, including smart TVs. So smart TV has contributed in making a botnet, right? Baby monitors and other household appliances. That means your smart TV could be a soft target, and which may be causing an attack for other devices in the network, right? Without your knowledge in fact. So this is the big challenge. Domain name service experience service outages as a result of what appear to be well coordinated attack, right? So your entire domain name system. Now look at this. This is applicable, more relevant to India, and that was happened in 2020. You might be knowing, right? But didn't cause Mumbai power outage, says government, right? So Please see, look at this line. Singh, however, did confirm that some cyber took place in Indian northern and southern region load dispatch centers, but added that the malware could not reach the operating system. But someone has tried. Right before a couple of months, there was a blackout in Mumbai. You must have, gone through that news, right? So you can see the date, right? There was a doubt, and people are trying, right? And this kind of attack we have already watched in the movie like Baby, right? Where Mr. Anupam Kher will take the control of the power grid and give some window to the heroes, to enter into that region, right? So that's quite possible. So again, in 2016, there was a DDoS attack, right, using network of consumer devices from the IoT. This is very important. So there are many examples, right? So security and privacy remains huge issues for IoT devices, which introduces a whole new degree of online privacy concern for consumers. That is because this devices not only collect personal information like users' names and telephone numbers, but can also monitor user activities, right? For example, when the user are in their houses and what they had for lunch. This kind of information, for example, you have installed IP camera in your house, right? Many things can be captured, and your house live picture can be shown somewhere, for example. This could be a good example of an attack, right? So IoT is deployed differently than the standard internet. Many IoT networks are deployed on low power, low C networks. LLNs are network constrained by energy, memory and processing power. Many times LLN experience high data loss. This distinction change the approach needed for security and privacy. So the biggest challenge is because IoT is different from your traditional network. Otherwise, we have a sufficient security mechanism for our traditional network, and that again we believe that until the quantum computing will come into the picture. Once we have a quantum computing in place, probably even the traditional security mechanism will not work. But here the point is, what we are using for standard internet or traditional internet, it may not work exactly for IoT, right? So even though there are high variety of uses and deployments of the IoT, we should be focused on privacy and security also. So why it is difficult to secure and apply security features to IoT as those used in traditional internet? That is the question. The answer is that the two main limitations are the battery capacity and computing power, right? So for example, the kind of algorithm that I'm using on my end device, I could not use it. If I try to use it, my latency is much more because it need a lot of computational power, and there is no usage of those kind of applications in the IoT domain, right? So because the IoT manufacturers fail to implement a robust security system in the devices, security experts have warned the potential risk of large number of unsecured devices connecting to internet. This is the big challenge, right? Firmware may be 10 years old, 8 years old, right? Maybe most of the devices are not allowing updating, and there are many challenges. So if you look at this, at transport layer, at network layer, at physical layer, right? There are different stages where you can have a different kind of challenges. Like in manufacturing, at physical layer, you can do device cloning. I don't know how many of you have an idea about device cloning, but it is like generating another copy, like making a Xerox of your device, right? That's what you mean by device cloning. At installation and commissioning stage, you can have a substitution, and even you can have MIM, that is the main in the middle attack, right? At network and transport layer. And at the operation level, you can have a DOS attack, privacy threat, extractions of security parameter at physical layer. At network layer, again you can have a DOS attack and routing attacks, right? Route may be changed at network layer, right? Then AWS dropping and main in the middle, right? So you can capture the session in between at transport layer, right? So if you are more interested, I request all of you to look at this website, right? So this is really important, and now I'm going to tell you after these 5 basic parameters we're gonna discuss what kind of attacks possible, then what are the tools that you can have, and what could be the attack methodology actually. So if you know the methodology, you can save yourself, right? Now there are 5, this IoT has to protect against attack from the following categories, right? So there are 5 main kind of things where the attacks possibility. You already know few terms, probably some of you have those subjects. One is authentication, second one is access control, the third one is confidentiality, integrity, and availability. Let us try to understand each term very precisely. What we mean by authentication, it involves the mutual verification of routing peers before they share route information and ensure shared data origin is accurate. In the IoT, authentication has to be strong and highly automated. This is very important. This is the big challenge, right? It has to be very strong and it has to be highly automated, right? So let's say there are 2 nodes, let's say 2 sensor nodes or 2 gateways, like 2 Raspberry Pi boards which has many sensors connected, and when you are sharing a routing information from, let's say, 1 to 2, then this one has to be authenticated so that 2 should know that it is forwarding the routing information which is correct actually, right? If this is a malicious node and there is no authentication, then probably you are creating problems for many other nodes in the networks, right? So that's a very important. The second one is the access control, is the prevention of unauthorized node use, that making sure nodes are not compromised, right? That's what you mean by access control. The third one is confidentiality, is the protection of information, especially when shared over a publicly accessible medium such as air for wireless. And in IoT domain, most of the technologies that we are using is wireless in nature, like Zigbee or BLE or Wi-Fi, whatsoever you have, right? Integrity involves the protection of data and confirms no unauthorized modifications occur starting from transmitter to the receiver, right? You need to ensure what has been transmitted. Let's say X has been transmitted, here you have received X without any changes. The last one, but most important, availability, which is specific to IoT, ensures that the information is available when required. So these are the 5 different domains where attack possibilities are there, right? So for example, if you do attack in this category, there is an issue. If you do attack over here, there is an issue. That means we need to suppose your role is to protect IoT system, then you need to ensure that you are protecting entire IoT system or the ecosystem by these 5 different categories. Even a one loophole will lead to a lot of issues in the days to come, right? So that's a very important challenge that you have. So challenges of IoT devices that make them vulnerable to many threats, right? So the first one is the first challenge, lack of security and privacy. Most of the devices are connected to internet and they lack basic security and privacy policies, so hackers can exploit this lack to carry out some malicious activity. Vulnerable web interfaces. Many IoT devices come with embedded web server technology that makes them vulnerable to attacks, right? Vulnerability means there are loopholes in the system. Default weak and hard-coded credential. Weak and default credential can be easily exploited by the hackers. I think it must be covered somewhere in the lecture or maybe in a lab, probably, of ethical hacking, those who have, right? And if you don't have that subject, probably there is a website which will tell you exactly, okay, there are many passwords available for all the devices, like default password, for example. So let's say you buy a router from D-Link, right? What could be the default username and password? So let's say your neighbor have a default router of D-Link and he has not kept any SSID. You get access to your router and then probably you change username and password, and then you ask 100 or 200 rupees to give him or her back. So I am just giving you a very small example. but that could be happen in the large scale, right? The next one is the clear text protocols and unnecessary open ports. Clear text protocols, right? That means the everything you are transmitting is not encrypted at all, right? And one of the reason is because you have a very low processing power at both the end, right? And there are many unnecessary open ports, right? So challenges of IoT devices that make them vulnerable to many threats. The first challenge, one of the challenge that is coding errors, which will lead to the buffer overflow, right? Which will lead to the buffer overflow. Now, I don't know how many of you have read about this buffer overflow, right? Buffer yani it's a memory. So basically, let's say I supposed to access this much portion of my memory only, but anyhow because of the coding issues, if I get over here, probably I'm creating a lot of issues. I'm creating a lot of issues, right? The second is physical theft and tampering. Someone can disturb your temperature sensor, someone can disturb your ATM system, someone can disturb your refrigerator and many things, right? So there are many threats, but all these threats are providing you the opportunity also, right? I request all of you to do a Google search on this part, right, and try to find out top 10 IoT vulnerabilities, right? I wish all of you to do a Google search on OWASP's top 10 IoT vulnerabilities, and believe me, on this portal they have mentioned it. If you go through each one of it, probably you will come to know what is really going in the domain and where is an opportunity, right? So probably if you want to work on some project related to IoT and security, this is the website that you must visit, right? What are the IoT attacks? So the first one is DDoS attack, right? And DOS you already know, denial of service. And when I say DDoS, it's a distributed denial of service attack. So what happen here is attacker converts the devices. What I mean by devices, let's say your smart TV, right? Your smart TV, your refrigerator, right? Your air conditioner, devices into an army of botnet to target a specific system or server. That means, let's say on a Google server, your television is making an attack, right? It is like a movie called वो कार वाला एक मूवी है यार, I forgot that name. Ajay Devgan was the father of that hero. I don't know if some of you can recall that movie, right? Mumbai Power done by China, yes, good. So if you can recall that movie, Ajay Devgan was the father of a son, and that car goes to the villain, and you know that car will destroy the villain's places, and that car used to kill also without the knowledge of that hero actually, and then a lot of chanbin will happen, and then probably everybody was able to find out, right? So in that movie even they are trying to explain ki car is attacking without the knowledge of the owner, right? There the story is different, but here let's say your television is making an attack, right? Very different situation, and so someday police will come and will do some what you can say deep dive into your, or maybe some forensic investigation of your television. It's really a difficult situation, right? Yes, thank you Bhargav for reminding the Tarzan the Wonder Car, right? Very good. So memory is very sharp, and thank you. So that movie has given the same idea, right? Now second, exploiting HVAC. What is that? Internet connected heating, ventilation and air conditioning, right? Now see, the way we are using the Google, what is Google or Bing? Anyone can tell me what Google and Bing are example of? What Google and Bing are example of? Yes, I wish some of you to write down. Google and Bing are example of what? Yes, you are right. They are the search engine. They are the search engine. Similarly, I request all of you to do Google on this. Write down this link. Let's say this link. Write down that link. Just a minute, huh? Yes, write down this link. What is this link? It's a search engine to find out an IP camera, a refrigerator which is online, a IoT system which is online, right? If you go to this web portal, this is a search engine for Internet of Things actually, right? So you can really find out some cameras and you can visualize it, right? So it is a search engine for IoT devices. I wish all of you to explore once you get an opportunity, right? So see, this is the first phase, like, which is called a footprinting. So basically what you are trying to do by using this tool is you are trying to understand what are the IoT systems already deployed, what are the open IoT systems available, what kind of cameras available, who is the manufacturer, and many details you will get from this search engine. Once you have those details, your attack becomes very easy, right? So please, I request all of you, in your free time, trying to explore this, try to find out something. It's very exciting, do it. The second one is rolling code. I don't know how many of you know, but you must have watched some English movie, right, where they are using this to unlock and steal the vehicle, so basically what it does, when you, let's say you have a remote key for your car. So when you press an open button, actually there is some intermediate device which will capture that code, and it will not pass that code to the receiver without your knowledge. But as a user, what is our habit? कि एक बार press किया, कार नहीं खुला, कोई बात नहीं, we don't bother, we'll press again. Right now, next time the code which has been stored, that code could be applied. Believe me, that code could be applied when you are sleeping, probably at night. Somebody will go with your car to unlock and steal the vehicle, right? So there is a lot of resources available. I wish all of you to explore this tool link, right? This is really an I hope you may be noting it. I will be uploading this presentation as well, but try to note down this if possible. Maybe just write down this, you will get on the GitHub, and really you can use it, right, to unlock and steal the vehicle. So this is that's a classical example of attack on the IoT system, because your car is using essential in IoT things, right? Then there is something called a blue-bone attack, right? Blue-bone attack. Attacker connects to nearby devices and exploits the vulnerabilities of the Bluetooth protocol to compromise the device. Right, so it's advisable that you should not keep the Bluetooth always on, but our Arogya Setu app is saying that you keep your Bluetooth on, right? So this is quite possible, right? Blue-bone attack. Then there is one more attack which is called jamming attack. Anyone knows what is the usage of the jamming attack? Right, for example, your devices will not work, right? For a specific area, your devices will not work. Let's say you are making an IT raid, right? There are a lot of movies on that. What you can do is you can go with the jamming devices. So if you have a jamming devices, all the mobile phones will goes down for a moment, right, or for that specific time. And how that jamming attack will work? Actually, it will release a specific frequency where it will try to cause an interference, and that's how the jamming will happen, right? So this is another attack that you can have, a jamming attack. Right, then remote access using backdoor. I wish all of you to write down this and try to explore at your own. Remote access using backdoor. Then another attack that I wish you to explore is the Sybil attack. Right, please try to explore it. MIM attack, that you already know, man in the middle attack. Right, so somebody will intercept your session, right, and then it will try to capture your session ID and those things, and then probably it may communicate on behalf of you, right? And this is quite most of you are aware of this ransomware attack, right? And it was happened before a year, right? And there is heavy price that has been paid by many organizations. Like you may get a screen, you pay this much of dollar on this account, then your system get open up. So basically they will do an encryption of your entire hard disk, and to decrypt you need a code, and that code will be with them only, right? So that's what you mean by this attack. Now, very important, IoT hacking methodology. Let's say you want to do IoT hacking. I don't advise you to do that. I wish you to be ethical hacker rather than you do hacking. But in order to save it, you should understand how somebody is doing IoT hacking. So the first thing is you need to do information gathering. Right, you need to gather a lot of information where IoT system is deployed, what kind of manufacturer has produced that IoT system, what are the default password, what kind of applications or software that it has, what is the year in which it has been manufactured. So basically by collecting those kind of information, you have an idea about the well-known vulnerabilities or loopholes in the system. Now, in order to get those information about the different IoT system deployed, you can use any search engine. I already introduced you to one, right? This is also a second. I wish you to do Google search on this right now. And can you tell me what is the use of this pingman.com? Just do a Google search on that, and at least 1 or 2 students should reply. So we can go ahead. What is this? Yes, I wish some of you to do Google search on this pingman.com. What is it? Just look at the title on the website and let me know what is that. I hope आप सुन रहे हो. क्या हो गया भाई? So you are doing search, right? Okay, great. They build networking tools. Okay. Any other thing that you got? Good. Very good, Rahul. Anybody else? There are many things that you will get, right? So try to look at this part. This is how you can gather information. Try to explore. This is really interesting. Please explore it. I leave it to you. Then after getting an information about the kind of IoT system has been deployed or available, like knowing the kind of devices, for example, let's say IP camera, right? You have an idea about IP camera, its IP address, its manufacturer, and what are the things. Then probably let's say you want to control it. Let's say that IP camera has a movement feature, 360 degree it can be rotated. Then you want to control its rotation. How you can do. So the first thing is, after knowing these details, what you need to do is you need to do vulnerability analysis. Okay, what are the loopholes in the operating system it has, the firmware that it has, right? So one of the tools that you have is the Nmap. Nmap, right? I think some of the students have an idea about Nmap. If you don't know, probably Nmap is a really excellent tool, right, for vulnerability analysis. Like you can do a lot of type of scanning, like port scanning, system scanning, right? Many options available, right? So Nmap is a good tool. It's a command based, and if you are interested on the GUI, there is something called ZenMap, right? ZenMap. You try to explore this, right? ZenMap. So that's a GUI based. So you don't require to remember the commands, right? Another thing that you should explore is beyondtrust.com. This is a website, and right, IoT vulnerability scanner. So this is another important resource that you should try to explore, right? There is something called forensics. Hello, there is something. See how it has been written, right? The way it's a WhatsApp language. Basically, it's a WhatsApp language, right? So it's a forensics. Try to note down this, and I wish you to explore all these tools. So what this tool will do, they will tell you what kind of loopholes that you have in a specific system or a target IoT system. Once you know the loopholes, probably, see, we are trying to discuss IoT hacking methodology. First step is to gather information. The second is find out do the vulnerability analysis. It will not happen by magic कि भाई vulnerability મને બધી ખબર પડી જાય. It's not happen like that, right? It's not like ખુલ જા સિમ સિમ kind of things. you really need to use some tools. So what are the tools that you can use? I'm trying to tell you, right? Then you need to, once you have a loopholes found, you want to really launch the attack, right? One of the example I already said, rfcrack.python, this is a .py, this is a Python program available. Try to explore that on the GitHub. Another one is the Killer Bee, right? Killer Bee is the programs available on the Kali Linux, right? Which will help you to do the wireless attacks. Maybe you can apply on your neighbor, but be careful, or maybe you can inform your neighbors and then try to do it, otherwise you may get into jail, right? This is really a good site. I wish all of you to explore now. Can you tell me what is the use? 85, just do a Google on this, 85.com right now, and I wish those who are listening to me should reply. Let's say we have a 30-second break. Let's do that. 85.com. Yes, anyone who has found 85.com, not 85, it's ATTIFY. What you got? What is the usage? What has been mentioned? Please type in Q&A. Okay, any other things? Any other things? They have some tool. See, try to look at those tool actually. Good, Rahul. What about other students? I hope others have also opened up. To learn practical and cutting techniques of analyzing IoT solution. Okay, so let's try to find out. Then similarly, another resource that you have, friends, right? Hack RF, right? On this great cottage gadgets, gadgets.com. This is the link that you should refer, right? So these are the tools that one can use to launch the attacks, right? So I wish you to explore all this stuff, and once you do that, probably, let's say, after attack, probably you want to gain a remote access, right? One of the utility program that you already know is the telnet, right? And there are other tools also available, and then after doing, getting once an access, you want to maintain the access. Actually these are the different phases of the hacking. I think the students probably who has been introduced to some kind of hacking subject, probably they have an idea, right? So maintaining an access, the meaning is that, let's say you make an entry once into the device, एक बार आपकी entry हो गई. Now in the future also you want to maintain the access. So for that, this is the link, ModKit, right? This is one of the link that I'm telling you can use to maintaining the access, right? This is the IoT hacking methodology, step 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5, right? But I don't advise you to get involved into the hacking, but please understand, For example, let's say you are working in an organization where your role is to develop an IoT system. So when you are developing, you should try to find out using these tools whether your system which has been deployed has some vulnerability or not, so that you can save from different attacks. For example, you try to apply all these attacks at your own, and then if nothing is happening, that means you can be sure that it's very secured, right? That is how you have to use it, right? So please take in that way, right? Now see, we talk about lot of attacks, and what kind of attacks possible, what is the methodology. Now what you can do as a countermeasure. So basically, you can apply some technologies at the network layer, you can apply some technologies at the transport layer also. Some mechanism at network layer, some mechanism at transport layer, right? Now you are all familiar that at network layer, what we have basically is the routing protocol used in the network layer of IoT are similar to the network layer of standard internet. However, the network layer of IoT is specified towards low power and low C networks. That's a challenge. So, failure to authenticate attacks. Node impersonation occurs when an attack gains access to a network as a legitimate node. Actually, node is not legitimate, but still it got an access, right? It would be able to carry attacks which involves reporting false data or reading, provide bad control messages or control affect the traffic flow of the network. अगर एक नोड खराब आ गया ना, malicious नोड एक एंट्री हो गई आपके नेटवर्क में, समझो पूरा नेटवर्क डिस्टर्ब हो गया, right? A dummy node is when the attack pretends to be legitimate node. A dummy node is when the attack pretends to be a legitimate node, right? A node resources spam occurs when an attacker continuously joins a network to drain the resources of the network. The attacker would aim to fill up the storage memory and potentially take down a portion of the network. So if you get malicious node into the network, probably it may affect the set of nodes, and so those set of nodes cannot contribute into the network operation, and that's going to be a big challenge, right? So these are the things that you can have. These are the kind of attacks possible at the network layer. Another attack possible at the network layer is confidentiality attacks. At the network layer, confidentiality attacks aim to expose routing information or routing exchange data. To prevent against this exposure attack, all communicating nodes should be authenticated. The communication between nodes should also be peer-to-peer, which ensures that neither node is sending information without knowledge of both the peers. So each peer needs to authenticate the corresponding party. That's what we are trying to say. So passive wiretapping attacks listen in on information being sent between nodes. By analyzing traffic, the attacker can learn about the network. This is a kind of passive attack. You just analyze the traffic. You are not getting involved into the attack. That means there is no access to the node. Without just by monitoring a traffic flow, you are able to define, right? This attack can be countered by encrypting all data used for routing. It is mandatory to implement advanced encryption standard 128 in counter with the CBC MAC mode for low power, low C network. So this is the kind of attack possible, but this is the solution, right? You can use this. Confidentiality attacks. Attackers can also learn information by analyzing traffic flow through a network. For example, what tool you can use? Let's say you can use the Wireshark. You can use the Wireshark, right, to analyze the traffic. Most of you know the Wireshark, right? This attack relies on the fact that data link layer and network layer routing information has to remain unencrypted. Integrity attacks. As I said, integrity means right, X will remain X till it received by receiver. So unauthorized or modification attacks are when attacker change the information in a message or in a stored data. This attack can be easily countered by adding access control for storage and by implementing data integrity services for messages, right? The overclaiming and misclaiming attacks aim to change the topology and routing data by creating false route. This attack can be countered by determining bad routes, by reviewing all data, and by designing the network with restricted reliable network topologies, right? So this is how you can play around the integrity attacks, right? Identity attacks, also known as spoofing, happen when an attacker tries to gain access to a device by masquerading. Routing information reply attacks occurs when the attacker records message sent over the network and replays them to the network in effort to disturb operations. The IETF routing over low power low C network, that is ROLL, is designed to counter this sort of attack. I have already explained the ROLL, right, when we talk about the 6 low WPAN, right? So the last one, availability attacks. So selective forwarding attacks affecting routing paths and aim to disrupt the communication. Now similarly, in the probably the next session, what we're gonna do is we'll discuss some architecture which will help you to provide the solutions for these all attacks. And very important thing is I will highlight the challenge and some tool that I will introduce, right, and that will conclude the topic. So let me end here the session. Thank you very much for joining. I permit you to leave the session. If you have any concern, I will be available. Thank you, one and